This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and I am at the Austin Film Festival, and this year with 3 screenplays in competition, 1 oral pitch, and glad handing with everybody I can talk to. At the Austin Film Festival, screenwriters have the opportunity during a 4-day event to go to panels held by experts, participate in roundtables and talk to actual media people, as well as communicate broadly with everybody else. So this is a place you go to search for collaborators for the screenplays you're working on right now. Find out how you can improve your original screenplays that you submitted and have them do better next year, as well as have a good time. Now, I'm sort of beyond the good time stages, so I don't attend all the after parties, and there are going to be really some sore heads this morning on the 3rd day of the festival. Well, you do what you can. But this is about meeting people who can help you. And they could be anybody, and they are not recognizable. Anybody you talk to here, even the black guy with torn pants and dreadlocks, he could be a movie producer. You don't know. Sometimes they have a small entourage with them. Sometimes the older guys are dressed in suits. You don't often see those here. So if you see an older guy or gal with a fancier dress, she's probably either an exhibitor here for something like final draft screenplays, or he may actually be a movie producer. You will also have chances to contact state people who support movie productions. So if your movie script ever gets accepted and it's shot here in Texas, they can help you go through all of the rigmarole to actually get your movie made. So I'm going to show you some more of the events. I'm going to show you something of Austin, and we're going to get started now. One of the places to have quiet communication at the Austin Film Festival is here on the terrace. It overlooks the street, and many a deal has been struck here during the 4 days of the Writers' Festival. One of the venues where events are held are in the historic Austin Club. This is a Victorian building, as you see, and one of the several venues outside of the Omni and the Stephen Austin Hotel where events are held. The Stephen Austin Royal Senosa Hotel has a very elaborate exercise room for these older guys like me who actually need to move their muscles every once in a while and actually get over the large amount of walking sometimes required to get to the venues over Austin's hills. The Royal Senosa Hotel has a pool and also a hot tub. And this is particularly valued towards older guys with sore muscles. What did I do at Austin? Well, this is an expensive trip, particularly for a writer with Social Security income. And I went a week early and stayed in a residence hotel, which I have another video about. Did some exercising, gathered some material for my new screenplay that I'm writing while I'm there, as well as evolved myself a little bit in the community. Where was I? Who was I with? And how could I help other people with what they were doing at the time? My personal log line is through my outdoor books, through my business books, through my novels. I try to help people help themselves. And that's the long and short of it. To some people, I might talk about my novels. To some people, I might talk about my business books. To some people, I might talk about screenplays or aspects of screenplay writing. If I feel like I can help a person along with something, I will talk to them. And incidentally,
bring in my other works. I do not walk up to a person and try to sell. That's a mistake. The first thing you do when you approach a stranger is sit down, introduce yourself, tell them you are a writer. They will probably ask back, "What do you write?" Well, you proceed to tell them and ask what their interests are. Find out a little bit about who they are, what they do, and how your writings can help them progress in life. That is a significant thing. If you go out and say, blah, 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 I sell, that's a turnoff. Yeah. You want to speak distinctly, slowly, emotively, get your points across, guys, but you don't hammer people to death. Okay. So what was my main purpose in being in Austin? My main purpose was this book, The Goldfarb Chronicles, from which I've written 3 screenplays and had the 3 in competition during this single festival. As it turned out, I wasn't the only one. There was another writer there that I ran into who also had 3 screenplays in competition. That's a lot of drive to produce 3 screenplays worthy of going to a festival in a single year and having all of them first accepted to the festival, much less go any further. That's a win. Well, my 3 screenplays, none of them made it past the first round. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. But we were able to do also an oral pitch. That also did not make it past the first round. Got a lot of competition there. Hovey Smith. Ma'am, I don't have time to talk to you. I'm doing fine. Thank you. Goodbye. And that is exactly why I will write between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, where were we? My 3 screenplays. The book, The Goldfarb Chronicles, is a trilogy. Many writers have written trilogies. Unusually for me, and uniquely, I think, is that the first is a situation comedy, the second is a Western adventure, and the third a courtroom drama where the principals introduced in the first screenplay are brought on trial in Brewster County, Texas. The judge judges in the manner of Judge Roy Bean, justice swift and sure. That trial will be completed in 4 days. This is not an O.J. Simpson kind of thing. Brewster County is the poorest county in Texas. It has 1 town in the entire county with a population of something like 6,000. It is the size of the state of Delaware. It is a considerable inconvenience and cost for that county to impanel a jury for a trial. Those on trial for capital murder will be hanged, they will be shot, or they will be set free in 4 days. But that's a short pitch for the entire trilogy. If this attracts a person's attention, then you proceed further with details. Now, how did this general outlook go? Poorly. Several reasons. The first most common was no producer is very likely to produce even one screenplay, much less take on a project that involves three. So the chances of these three novels being made a movie by the same producer are very poor. 2, the structure of the screenplay itself needed improvement. Even though they never saw that, I found that out during the conferences. So that was set aside. 3, my characters sounded real. I've been on location. I've been there. I've spent many, many months in West Texas. So I know the country and I know the people. That's an asset. And I wrote about them realistically. But you have to ring true, very, very true to your subject materials. So those features sort of damned my efforts to failure. But are they really? Not yet. What you will learn at the conference is that these guys go through screenplays like coffee goes through an old guy like me. They may do as many as 25 of the things before they get one that actually makes a movie. I'm only through 7 iterations. I've got a long way to go. All right. One more thing I discovered before I ever went to Austin with these screenplays was that my style of writing, particularly when you start from a novel, has many, many interesting aspects that cannot possibly make it into a screenplay. The novel is, say, like 400 pages long. The screenplay, whoa, is down to 100, maybe 110. Well, you got to cut a lot of stuff out. This series is better suited for episodic television than a screenplay, than trying to condense it into a single movie. So that was recognized before and reinforced from what I heard from the panels. Now, besides the pitch contest, which was the most important thing, and I got out of the way first, there were many interesting conferences and speakers that I also attended. In one of these, I talked to a young fellow, and he was asking a logical question. I'm involved in writing a screenplay, and I'm in deep into it, and I've been deep into it for weeks. And all of a sudden, I have this other completely unrelated idea. What do I do with it? I gave him 2 pieces of advice. 1, set the work aside temporarily. Capture that idea. Make an outline. All right. Write as much of it as the demons drive you to write. Yeah, do that. And then go back to your screenplay. The reason being is you will remember you had a really great idea 3 years from now, but you won't have a clue what it was. Boom. So capture that idea. The other piece of advice I gave him was that there is nothing in human experience that cannot be turned to profit by an inventive mind. If you are a young person, you probably will never sell a screenplay. You may never be hired by Hollywood to do anything. So you must have something else to do. Yeah, you've got to make a living. Well, my most valuable contribution to the community is this book. Make your own job anytime, anywhere, at any age. And it means exactly that. If you're in the cultural arts, you get paid little, you get paid late, if you get paid at all. So, what you do is in college, you collaborate with others, you take some business courses, and you think about and seriously start your own little mini business in college. Yeah, you do that. Then you go to work for the man, you go to work for industry, you get your degrees, you have your family and all of this. But in the meantime, you start your own company in the U.S. In this book, I uniquely tell you how to come up with an original job idea. And then step by step by step by step, how to start your own business in the U.S. And I don't care what this business might be. It could be selling objects, it could be selling things, but more significantly, unbeknownst to most people, you can sell things, you can sell other things besides goods and services. You can sell knowledge. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm teaching you how to do something. Yes. And this selling knowledge business can be a multi-million-dollar operation. Yes. Well, the usual response is, well, I'm a young person. I don't know anything. Well, what you do? Yes, you do. And what you don't know, your parents, your grandparents, and their grandparents learn the hard way. Talk to your living relatives. Record what they have to say about their lives. They learned lessons that you don't have to go through. You can use their experiences to teach others how to avoid the same mistakes without having to go through the rigmarole as a young person to make them yourself. Now, maybe you've made your mistakes. Maybe you've been addicted to drugs. Maybe you've been addicted to alcohol. Maybe you fought through these and are fighting through these issues right now. Shane Black, one of the most successful speakers here at Austin and one of the most successful movie people in the industry, does a great variety of movies. And they're based on his early life experiences, which were absolutely miserable. And he will tell you so. He will. Every day, every time. He brings up the fact that he is an alcoholic. Yes. What happened? Well, he found his way out of that. And screenplay writing was the media he did it in and in the movie industry. Whoa. But you don't have to go through all the stuff he did in order to write a successful screenplay or in order to start your own business so you make some money and don't starve to death. And I tell you exactly how. Now, I'm not some guy in Georgia just speaking off the cuff. This book has been seriously reviewed by Kirkus, the most critical review agency in the nation. And they called it a worthy book for the newbie entrepreneur. It's also on the recommended list by the U.S. Review of Books. This is a significant work in a small package, and you should use it. It's available as softcover, as an audio book, so you can listen to it either way. My second book, Real Wealth, how to obtain and keep it is a discussion of what wealth really is. And believe it or not, it ain't money and things. Some of the most miserable people on the face of the earth are the richest. What? They're scared about losing what they got, that somebody's going to take it from them, that somehow it's going to evaporate, the stock market crash or whatever. They're worried about their possessions as people are going to steal them. They have to worry about all the staff that takes care of all this crap, frankly, that they've got. And what does it mean in the end? Frankly, not very much. Unless Dale Carnegie tried it. He founded the Carnegie Libraries. And this system is all throughout the United States. But as a businessman, he was cutthroat. He literally worked his workers to death. And his conscience bothered him terribly all through his life. He once described himself as the most miserable man on earth. And maybe he was. So, real wealth is not what you possess. It's not what you have. Once you get to a certain point of status that you can, live within your means. Real wealth is the ability and willingness to help others get through their lives. That gives more pleasure than any other single thing. Goodbye. God bless. And see you next time.